I believe that it is really important to get the message out there in order to enlighten guys who are not mature enough to confront reality as well as misinformed feminists. As children, we are all conscious of the fact that maturing into adult males will be challenging. You are aware that the circumstances have not always been in the current state. A boy's boyhood consisted of traveling throughout the world and engaging in social activities, particularly with other lads. They filled their time by arguing with one another, befriending new people, causing mayhem, and building with sand and wood. It is a crime against modern society as well as the young men who live in it to direct young boys down a path that was never meant for them to follow. If you force a kid to remain motionless for 8 hours at a time and expect him to focus on a single activity, you should be considered guilty of a specific type of hate crime that is directed specifically towards men. Adult men gradually accept the idea that they will never be on the winning end of a bargain, despite the fact that this is the standard situation in which they find themselves. Even after every girl in high school reveals her true nature by choosing to interact with only the top 10% of the guys, men are aware that they will always be on the receiving end of unfair treatment, whether it be in the form of punishment for their actions or blame as the instigator in class riots. This is true even after men realize that they will always be on the receiving end of unfair treatment. It is common knowledge that a significantly larger percentage of female students than male students get above average grades, and even more women than male students enroll in and graduate from college. In the meantime, the majority of men are left perplexed, murmuring, and wondering what it is they were meant to do with their lives. This is due to the fact that women, on average, exhibit higher levels of intrinsic motivation to learn as compared to men. Unfortunately, a large number of people believe the feminist stereotype that depicts males as foolish animals that are unable to deal with life. Feminists are rude enough to represent men in this way. It's likely that the reason our young men aren't succeeding is because the system they're being forced to participate in is too unjust and complicated for them to comprehend how to achieve success inside it. If you ask most guys, they would tell you that the years following the middle of their 20s was when they experienced the most joy in their lives. It is quite unlikely that he was born with a remarkable and attractive appearance, thus it is possible that his high school and college years were the happiest of his entire life. Women and men almost never experience the same things simultaneously. Men have a variety of challenges to overcome on their own, including taming their sexuality and their tendencies to compete with others, if they do not have the leadership of a strong male figure who can guide them through life and teach them true manly qualities. These individuals accept life for what it is and do not let their disappointments get to them. After then, being a guy is still an isolating experience because only a small percentage of people ever reach the summit of their field and are accorded the recognition that their efforts merit. As soon as a boy realizes that ladies are born without whiskers and a penis, the rest of humanity immediately rejects him as a member of their species. He has no one with whom he can discuss his anger and no one to whom he can turn for help as he struggles with his rage and a lack of direction in life. He has no one with whom he can talk about his frustrations. Because of this, a significant number of boys and men who do not have access to strong male role models turn to extremism in either politics or religion, or they join gangs. The movie The Man with My Face is one of Mel Gibson's works that immediately comes to mind. A little boy is observed as he develops throughout his childhood in a household that is ruled by the females. When he is old enough, the kid will want to have a link that can assist him in enrolling in an Air Force academy, and he will want to do this as soon as possible. His mother is just as promiscuous as the youngster, and he has 2 sisters in addition to his mother who are often out with new men. His mother is also a single parent. No matter how hard you try, you will inevitably come across the same challenge. The fact that you are a male prevents you from accessing any opportunities. It may appear as though I am exaggerating the problem, but the reality is that men of this generation cannot confide in anyone, not even their closest friends, about the challenges they are confronting. This is a condition that cannot be changed. They are unable to tell anyone, especially their daughters, who can only act concerned without actually being concerned. I've seen a lot of men make the awkward mistake of crying in front of their wives, which is something that has happened to a lot of them that I've seen. They never moved past the phase of "I don't love you anymore," and the woman never stopped holding herself responsible for the couple's inability to get back together. However, in contrast to your mother, most women in today's society do not think or behave in a manner that is considered to be as conventional. If you ask her to, she will comfort you while you cry and sit with you while you do it if you ask her to. Because it is so obvious that you have lost all ability to exercise self-control, no other woman will put up with it. Since this is the most important criterion that will determine the amount of money, housing, and status that your potential partners have after college and studies, let's talk about how to enter a man's top 20 even if you weren't born into a genetically and financially gifted family. To improve oneself while preserving the same standard of living will call for a significant investment of time and energy. There are no friends like you. Everyone else in your circle has given up on whatever that was once significant to them. People are attempting to annoy you and get in your way wherever you go. This is consistent throughout the entire experience. You don't share your hopes and ambitions with anyone else because you're afraid that they will be mocked if they become public knowledge. You will need to learn to put up with behavior like this from the individuals who are closest to you, including members of your own family. These people will always want to pull you down to their level. They do not have the same level of drive and desire as you. You are forced to submit to the authority of a submissive woman who intends to control you. When you look around and notice that other guys are growing better and having greater success, you are the one who has to be the one to wipe your own tears and pick yourself up. There is never a moment of peace. You won't feel entirely alone in your pursuit of professional success, but neither will you see very many of your old friends very often either. You are no longer permitted to frequent the same bars or socialize with the same individuals as you did in the past. Even if you're content, you find yourself longing for the simpler life you used to lead and the jokes you used to tell. You feel bad about having to give it up due to financial limitations, but unfortunately, that is just how life is. It is impossible to both have your cake and eat it. For this reason, it is absolutely necessary for every man to have some form of life purpose or passion project that he is working toward. When you are in your 20s, I have no doubt that you will make a resolution to do something and then see that resolution through to completion. It makes no difference if you are constructing a business or traveling to 50 different countries, you never stray from your principle. You need to keep it in mind at all times, even when you feel like giving up. You have an unhealthy preoccupation with something holy that can never be taken away. That is going to be your rock-solid foundation, your rock-solid pillar of strength. Even if you put in a lot of effort to improve your appearance and other aspects of your life, it's likely that you'll still end up sleeping with the occasional freelance model who is shorter than you, even if you're a slender man who is 5 feet 5 inches tall and your number one goal in life is to sleep with models. This is especially true if your height is 5 feet 5 inches. You have the potential to achieve levels of success that are virtually unthinkable if you put your goals on the correct things and concentrate on the reasons why you are doing what you are doing. The difficulty of the task that you have to do will be increased by a factor of 2, yet, you are obligated to carry it out. You are aware, on some level, that nobody gives a damn about you or your situation. This makes sense given that we are members of the replaceable gender and the category of people who have to work hard to acquire respect from the rest of the world. Even Genghis Khan had no choice but to spend his formative years as an outcast, an orphan, and with nothing to his name in order to mature into the great leader that he eventually became. The fight is difficult, but the reward is beyond anything men have ever experienced. It is impossible to put a price on the respect and position that men acquire, but before they can receive these benefits, each man must first demonstrate that he is deserving of them. You need to demonstrate that you are valuable before everything else, young man. I've finished all of my work for the day.